Yo, what is up, y'all? We got another video for you today. I think we're about 12 weeks out now from our first bodybuilding show of the season. The plan is to do at least two, maybe three shows this year, all in around that, fall kind of autumn time frame. So we are about 12 weeks out right now from the first one. And today I actually wanted to do kind of like a full day of eating, show you guys what I've been eating to get shredded, stage lean, get ready for the show. So right now we woke up at like 165.1, so pretty low again, which is nice. We hit a new like prep low for this prep at 164 yesterday. Came up a little bit, but that's right. You kind of fluctuate. You want to go off those weekly averages anyway. So that all said, let me take you through meal number one. So meal number one, we have our eggs. This is two whole eggs, 150 grams of egg whites, and then it's 40 grams of bell pepper, 40 grams of spinach. Along with that, we have two kiwis. So you can see on this little paper towel, two kiwis. I always take the skin off. I don't like eating the skin. I know some people do. Not my thing. I just take the skin off and then just eat them like that. And then we got our morning sups right here. Ah, all of our morning supplements. It's ashwagandha fish oils, D3K2 complex, and then just a men's multivitamin. And then we wash that down with we got our water, which is also every morning I do electrolytes and my creatine in this. I do my creatine every morning just because I used to do it post workout, but I find myself forgetting to take it on rest days if I'm not going to the gym. So now I just do it in my morning. I think scientifically it's best to take it post workout for muscle growth at least, but overall, if you're getting your creatine in every day, that's really what matters. It's not going to make much of a difference on the timing. So that's why I take it every morning. That way I don't forget a dose, because that's going to be way worse than, it's better to just take it than to not take it, obviously. So I do electrolytes and my creatine, and that's how I down all the sups. Ah, yum. And then every morning I do a cup of morning coffee just because I need the caffeine to wake up. And I've been trying to be better about actually waking up at a more reasonable time. I mean, I have to wake up around like 6:30, 6 a.m. every morning for work, but then on weekends and stuff, I usually sleep in until like 10 or 11 a.m. Trying not to do that anymore, trying to stay waking up at least by 7, so maybe give myself like an extra hour to sleep in, but trying to still wake up, help that circadian rhythm. And one thing I've noticed that has helped is I've started reading before bed, which I used to never do. So I'm trying to get into reading a little bit more, and that does help kind of calm the brain, helps me fall asleep better. So that's been helping me so that I can actually wake up on time. And then after this meal, actually, I will probably pull out my walking pad, and I usually get some steps first thing in the morning. That way I don't have to catch up on steps late at night. Because if I have to hop on the walking pad, do steps for like an hour or something at the end of the night, it'll get the heart rate up and stuff, and then it's harder for my body to relax and go to bed. So I do steps in the morning, which helps get the heart rate up and kind of wake me up, get my first meal in, do some steps, help that digest, and then get on with my day. So that's it. I'm gonna eat this meal, and then I will check in with you guys. I think our next meal will be lunch. So I'll catch you then. Like I said, we are back for lunch now. Let me get you sat down. So for lunch, first off, I have my one diet soda a day. I allow myself one diet soda a day. I mean, they're 0 calories, so like in theory, you could probably drink like thousands of them, but I don't know, 0 calorie. There's obviously something in here. I feel like 0 calorie doesn't actually exist, but they're so negligible they don't have to record it. So don't drink like 100 of these a day. It also just causes like bloating and some other issues. But I have one a day. The carbonation, all that helps keep you full, and then also it's just a little extra flavor, a little fun guy. So what I'm having right now, it's the cherry float zero sugar cokes. So I have that. Those was my lunch, and then the actual meal itself, I have. So what we got is 170 grams of tuna, not tuna, 170 grams of salmon, 100 200 grams of potatoes, and 150-gram of carrot. So that is my lunch. I'll have the macros here. I didn't say it in the first meal, but I'm going to pop up the macros with every single meal that I have. So this is my lunch meal. I get some fish in. Um, yeah, just fish, potato, carrot. Nothing too crazy to be said about it. I enjoy this meal. It's super good. I personally, I don't know. I used to not eat a ton of salmon. I've always liked salmon. I just didn't know how to cook it. Only time I'd ever cooked it was when my dad made it, and he would always grill it with like this nice glaze, and it was delicious. So when my coach said that salmon's on the meal plan, I was like, awesome. I love salmon, but then I was like, shit, I don't know how to cook it. I've just been buying like these frozen salmon fillets. They literally are 170 grams prepackaged, super convenient because that's what I eat is 170 grams of salmon. And that's what my coach wanted already. So it's very convenient. And I've honestly just been popping them in the air fryer. Throw it in the air fryer, still frozen, at 400 degrees for about 24 minutes. I throw that in with my potatoes. Both of them just slice up the potatoes, throw it all in the air fryer. And then I just cover it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of onion powder, and a little bit of garlic powder. Air fry it up. It tastes great. I love it. The bottom gets a little slimy. You don't get that nice like a crispy skin, so that kind of sucks. But for just a quick way to make salmon, quick, efficient, and if you don't care that much about like the greatest flavor and you want it edible, that's kind of like me. I know I'm not the greatest cook in the world. As long as the food's edible and I can get it down, get the macros in, I'm good. So pro tip, but you probably already knew that because I'm just an idiot who didn't know how to cook salmon. But that said, I'm gonna eat this, and then usually after my lunch, either while my lunch is cooking, I'm today is the weekend, so I'm not working today, so I have a little bit more free time. So I'm gonna eat this and then go take my dog for a walk. Usually, I would throw it in the air fryer in those 24 minutes. I'll just do a really quick, short walk while my food's cooking. I would take a walk on my lunch break and then come back, eat my food, and go back to work. That's my normal day. Right now, I'm not working today, so I have a little bit more free time, which makes it very nice. Anyways, I'm gonna go eat this and then take the little man himself for the walk. Oh, also, as you can see there, I've been playing Ghost of Yoete, like that sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Super fun game. I loved both. I'm absolutely hooked on it. Cannot get enough. But I also kind of got that Call of Duty itch, you know? I've heard those leaks for the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 being ported to the PlayStation 5. I can't wait. Black Ops 2 is my favorite game of all time, especially my favorite Call of Duty of all time. So I'm so excited for that to happen. And it'll make rest days a little less miserable because I'll be able to actually play some Black Ops 2 again, like back in the day. Anyway, I gotta eat this and I gotta get him for his walk. So I will catch you guys at our pre workout meal, which will be our next meal, meal number 3. All right, we got pre-workout now. It's our pre-workout meal, meal number 3. What this consists of is we have this concoction of things, which is this is 60 grams of jasmine rice, 170 grams of chicken breast, and then we have 30 grams of avocado and 50 grams of kimchi, all of that mixed in here. And then to go along with this, kind of the dessert after this meal is on this cutting board here. We have one whole apple. I sliced it up into quarters, or I guess eighths. I eighth it. I slice it up, and then I sprinkle on a little bit of stevia and cinnamon, just to give it kind of more of like a sweet, desserty flavor. I don't know. It helps curb the sweet tooth, especially in prep. I used to just eat the apple straight up, but now the further into prep I usually get, usually the more I start to crave sweets. Which usually I'm not a big sweets guy. Um, if I'm like in the off season or something, I'm craving a snack. It's usually something more salty, but in prep, I start really craving sweets, so this helps me kind of curb that. It tastes like a uncooked apple pie filling, kind of, at least in my mind, since I've been deprived of sweets for so long, and it's really good. One thing to note with the actual like main meal, like this guy, the kimchi. I do the kimchi in there because as you've probably noticed, I try to get fruits and vegetables in every single meal. It's just a really good way to make sure you're getting your micronutrients, which are important. I mean, macros kind of dictate how you look. Like, obviously, I mean, calories like how much you weigh. Macros kind of can show how much you look, and then micronutrients really dictate how you feel. So you got to make sure you're hitting your micronutrients because you want to feel good. So fruits and vegetables will help you cover your micronutrients, and then also help you really get some fiber in there. And then I do the kimchi because it's more of like a fermented food, and that's supposed to be really good for gut health. So I try to get a little bit of fermented foods in my diet when possible. So I throw it into this meal. Um, that is pretty much it for the pre-workout. I gotta eat this so we can get to the gym, but I'm gonna eat this, and then I will check in with you all when I'm making my intro workout shake before we leave for the gym. So let me go enjoy my food and I'll check in with you guys in a bit. All right, now I just finished that meal that you just saw. Now we got to make our intro workout. So I always do an intro workout shake to just sip on during my training session. Basically, just gives me carbs during the workout, some carbs and some EAAs, essential amino acids. So we're using raw fuel, and then we have the raw EAA plus, and then of course we have Bum Essentials for our pre-workout. If you want to get any of these raw products or just any raw products in general, if you want to save a little bit of money on your order, you can use my code RSHAYFIT. It'll save you 10% on your whole order. But anyways, this is our intro workout shake, like I said. So we do 30 grams of fuel here, 30 grams of carb powder, which simply just gives us more carbs during the workout. I have always been a big fan of intro workouts during my off seasons or kind of massing phases, bulking phases, whatever you want to call it. I would do a carb powder basically because it's a good way to get extra calories in. With the carbohydrates, you can just sip on them. Like obviously, it's basically just like some fast acting sugars and stuff in there. So it's easy to pound that, get just an extra like 100 calories in you for the day. Oh, and then we're doing 15 grams of the EAAs, by the way. But why I do carb powders during prep is because now with um being in prep, less calories, less energy. Eventually, maybe we will have to cut the intro workout carbs, but we'll see what coach does. I like to keep them as much as I can. But the point is, it'll help me keep my energy up throughout the workout. So I just sip on this, help me stop me from like crashing or anything mid workout, making sure my glycogen stores are still full. I'm keeping kind of some carbs in the system, keeping energy up. I think it helps. I don't personally know any of the science behind it. I just anecdotally know that I've used it for a while and I see a benefit in having an intro workout carb while you're working out. And then the EAAs are essential amino acids. Some people argue they are worthless. And if you want protein, you might as well just eat complete protein sources in food like egg whites, steak, fish, chicken, stuff like that. Greek yogurt, things like that. I've heard that EAAs, again, I'm no scientist, so I don't know the exact science behind it. I don't know. I could be misquoting this, but I hear EAA is like a good benefit for them, especially in a prep setting. I think off season they're probably not as beneficial, but especially in a prep setting or a dieting setting, EAAs are very beneficial for making sure your muscles not breaking down. So the intra workout carbs help keep me energized, help me keep some fuel in my body like that my body needs. But the EAAs will make it so my body doesn't resort to breaking down muscle for energy and the essential aminos that are whatever it needs basically. So it basically helps you maintain muscle. So through a long training session, I mean, I'm usually in the gym for about 2 hours. So a long training session, obviously I'm not eating, I'm getting some carbs, but like no protein. So the EAAs are pretty much no calories. I mean, let me double check, make sure I'm not an idiot, but okay, they're 10 calories, 10 calories per serving. So not that many calories. And then it'll help stop the muscle breakdown. Whereas like if I put like a scoop of protein powder in here, that's 130 calories. So 10x the calories or 13x the calories of the EAAs. So basically no calories. It stops the muscle from breaking down during the workout. That's at least the benefit that I've heard. How true is that? I'm not sure. That's just what I've heard. But I think if you got the money for it, might as well use some EAAs, especially if you're in a diet, because there's no calories basically. There's only 10 calories, so you're not like it's going to be jacking up your calories. And worst case scenario, it's just going to add some flavoring to your water. Best case scenario, make sure your muscle's not breaking down. So if you can afford it, doesn't hurt. Well, that's my 2 cents on that. So we got our intra here. I got my B-dubs cup. Let me fill up some water quick. I always do my pre-workout in this B-dubs cup. Don't ask me why. It's just I've had this cup since like high school. And ever since I've had this cup, it's been my pre-workout cup. So like I said, we're doing the Bum Essentials today for pre-workout. We have the blue raz, I think. Yeah, blue raspberry flavor. Which isn't it weird that that's like a flavor that people make? We're gonna do a scoop and some change today. But isn't it weird that blue ras is like such a popular flavor? Like I love the flavor of blue raspberry, but blue raspberries don't exist. We got raspberries, we got blackberries. You don't got a blue raspberry. That's just not a thing. But yet we have a blue raspberry flavor and like everything, like blue raspberry slushies, candies, pre-workouts. Like there's so many blue ras things. It's kind of weird. Just random thought I had. I love it though. I love the blue ras flavor. I like blue ras flavored anything. If I can get a blue flavor and it's a blue raspberry flavor, I'm going for that. Like 9 times out of 10, I just love blue raspberry flavored things, even though they don't exist. Yeah, we're gonna hit those with the froth, get it nice and mixed up in there. It's good and incorporated, and now I'm gonna pound this, and we're gonna get to the gym. We got legs today. It's a leg B day, so that used to be my like glute and hamstring dominant day. We've kind of switched where both leg days are a bit more quad focused, just because my glutes and hamstrings are definitely, as far as legs go, the stronger side of my leg. I need a little bit more work on my quads, so we're trying to hit them a little bit harder here. So we've switched up some things with this leg B day. We've removed completely hip thrusts, and we've added the linear hack squat, and then we've also added a just like body weight sissy squat. We got 2 sets on the linear hack squat, 1 lower rep range like 6 to 8, so a little heavier, and then 1 higher rep range. I think it's 10 to 12, so a little bit lighter, but still pushing it hard. And then we got 2 sets of body weight sissy squats in like 10 to 12 range, I believe. So those are the changes that I can think of, at least. That said, I'm going to down this and we will get to the gym. So I will see you when I'm training.
When I'm feeling cast away, I'm lying wide awake. My mind will go astray, dreaming of those days of us kissing, just reminiscing. Ooh, would linger for days on end. But then it all comes back again, that it's late in the evening and it wears the scent of you. I wish I had you near me, this bed was made for 2. As I stare at the ceiling and I don't know what to do. Without you I am nowhere, I'll never find another you. So won't you come on over, 'cause all I need is you. Did I let you down? What part did I neglect? Or did I disrespect through the high and low? The perfect times we had, where did we lose the path? Ooh, linger for days on end. Ooh, but then it all comes back again, that it's late in the evening and it wears the scent of you. I wish I had you near me, this bed was made for 2. As I stare at the ceiling and I don't know what to do. Without you I am nowhere, I'll never find another you. If you say that you're leaving, only one thought coming through. Even if I'd search all over, I'd never find another you. So won't you come on over, 'cause all I need is you. When I'm feeling cast away, my mind will go astray. It's late in the evening and it wears the scent of you. I wish I had you near me, this bed was made for 2. As I stare at the ceiling and I don't know what to do. Without you I am nowhere, I'll never find another you. And if you say that you're leaving, only one thought coming through. Even if I'd search all over, I'd never find another you. So won't you come on over, 'cause all I need is you. Won't you come on over, 'cause all I need is you.
All right, right, well, that is a wrap on the workout. It's super unfortunate, bro. So I come specifically to this gym literally once per like my split. So once a week, basically. I run a 9-day split if you count rest days as part of the split. So like I come here every 9 days roughly, right? Last time I was here, over a week ago, the adductor machine is broken. Do you know grow the inner thighs? The good girls, as some people call it, because you're closing them legs shut. It was broken, and that's like the biggest reason I come. Also, the lying leg curl. The other gym I go to doesn't have a lying leg curl, so that's also nice. But the adductor is like the biggest reason I come here to really target those adductors because I can do other things for hamstrings. Adductors, other than like deep squatting and like leg press motions, it's pretty hard to like target them specifically. So that's why I come here. It was broken last time. I was like, damn, oh well, I got 9 days till I come back. Nope, still out of order, still broken. So that's super frustrating. But other than that, the lift went great. All movements felt really good. For being at the point in prep where we are, the body composition that we are, the body fat percentage that we are, being like over 20 pounds lower than what we were when we were all bulked up in the off season. I'm very happy with how lifts are progressing. We're not really losing much strength. Rep ranges, we're still staying pretty damn close to them. Like we're maintaining pretty good, especially for being 20 something pounds down from what we were peak bulk and being 12 weeks out. So that's pretty sick. Hopefully that trend continues. Anyways, lift was sick. Now we got to get back home and we got to get our post workout meal. So I will catch you guys when I got the post workout meal all made up and ready to eat. All right, what is up, y'all? We are back at the house. We got our post workout slop right here. It is we do 170 grams of ground beef, 60 grams of jasmine rice, and then 150 grams of green beans. That's the post workout meal. Um, Also, one thing I haven't mentioned in any of my other meals, every single one of my meals except my last meal, which we will get to later, but every other meal I salt pretty generously to get the sodium in because sodium is very important. You need sodium. I remember when I was younger and growing up, sodium was kind of like demonized. It was like, hey, watch out for sodium, watch your sodium intakes, be careful with sodium, because he didn't want to like raise your blood pressure or anything like that, which is fair. And especially for most Americans, they have very, very sodium heavy diets because a lot of processed food and preservatives have a lot of sodium in them. So if you're eating a lot of processed food, all like going to fast food a lot, eating like a lot of frozen pizzas or frozen meals, stuff like that, that could be very high in sodium, then yes, you need to watch your sodium because, like anything, just because it's something you need, you can't overdo it still. So in that instance, yes, you should be careful, watch it, make sure you're monitoring your sodium levels. In a bodybuilding context where you're making all of your food, and likely when you're making, you're probably not seasoning it very much. You're just making the raw ingredients. You got to make sure you add salt to it to add that sodium because sodium is an electrolyte. It's essential. You need it like to shuttle and bring water into your muscles and keep you hydrated as an electrolyte, which also in turn is why another reason sodium is so important is to help your pumps. If you're not eating enough sodium and you're not hydrated enough before the gym, your pump might suffer. A lot of people think it's only carbs. Like, I got to make sure I got carbs and carbs to get the pump, which is important. Yes, obviously, you want your carbs. Like, my carb heavy meals are pre and post workout, but you also need to make sure your sodium levels are adequate if you want to get a good pump. You can have a ton of carbs and you'll still get a pump. You'll get a pretty good pump, but it would be much better with sodium. Whereas also, like in a prep aspect, I still get pretty nasty pumps and like I'm definitely lower on food, obviously. And I think that is a very strong advocate because I'm staying well hydrated. I mean, I have my electrolytes every single morning. I eat salt in every single meal, except for my last meal. But every single meal, it's like 3 meals leading up to the gym. I'm getting good sodium intake. I've had my electrolytes, all that stuff, and I think it really helps with pump. So don't sleep on sodium. Obviously, don't overdo it. I only do about for 2 grams of salt per meal. So monitor it. Don't go crazy. Don't just be like, okay, sodium and like dump the whole container of salt on a meal. Obviously, don't do that. But like, don't be too scared of sodium, especially if you're not eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of fast food. If you were making a lot of your own meals, it's pretty clean meals, you'll probably be all right. I'm gonna eat this post workout meal. I'm gonna relax for a bit, and then I will catch you. I will catch you guys when we're on our last meal of the day. So stay tuned. We got one more meal, and yeah, after that meal, I will show the full macros for what we have for the entire day. So stay tuned for the last meal and the macros for the entire day. All right, so we are back with the final meal of the night. We have a yogurt bowl right here. Oh no! Wow, what a save. I almost dumped that out on the counter. So I got a yogurt bowl right here. It is 200 grams of zero fat Greek yogurt, 170 grams of blueberries, and then 1 scoop of protein powder. Today's protein powder is just raw isolate chocolate. Nothing too crazy. I ran out of all the fun flavors I was doing. There was like an iced oatmeal cookie that I was doing for a bit, and it tasted really good. But I'm back to just the chocolate. It's classic. Can't mess it up. Gotta love chocolate. Anyways, we got that. This is our like little protein bowl, yogurt bowl. Then we do 300 grams of almond milk, and then keeping the trend of almonds going, we get 15 grams of almond butter. I got this local almond butter. I got it at a um, farmer's market this past weekend. Pro tips for when you're measuring out almond butter. Let me see if you can see this. Put the whole container on the scale and then zero out the scale. And take your little spoon and you can just pull it right off there. And now it'll say negative 13 grams, negative 15 grams. So there's 15 grams. I honestly just eat this straight off the spoon for this last meal. I could put it in the bowl, in like the yogurt bowl here, but then I don't really taste it. And I honestly like the taste of almond butter a lot, so I just lick it straight off the spoon. It's delicious. All that said, though, that is the total day of eating. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the calories off the top of my head, but they will be right here. As here's daily total of macros, calories, all that good stuff. But other than that, that is all I got for you guys. All right, I'm actually back. The video is not quite over. I forgot. I'm about to hop into bed. That's why I got this nice little nose strip on. I throw on a nose strip every night. Helps me breathe better, to sleep better. Just opens up that nasal cavity. But I wanted to tell you the 2 supplements I take before bed. I take magnesium and zinc both before bed instead of with my morning supplements, just because they both can help with quality of sleep. So I want to take them actually right before I go to bed. So I get the most bang for my buck. So I take both of these. And then once I'm actually ready for bed, I'm basically getting in bed to go to sleep, I will take 10 milligrams of melatonin just to help me really knock out for the night, because especially with training, usually later in the day around 4 or 5, I'm taking pre-workout before the gym. I could go to a stim-free or non-stim pre-workout, but being in prep with lower energy and then also working at 9 to 5, I'm pretty shot after work already, so I kind of need that caffeine to get me going. But the half-life of caffeine is obviously like 6 to 12 hours, something like that. I don't know, it's a long time. So I still would have a little bit of caffeine in my system. So I take a little melatonin, help the body calm down a little bit. And then, well, I wait about 15 minutes for that to kick in while I'm laying in bed. I just try to read a book, help the brain kind of relax, chill out for the night, and then I can knock right out so that I can get, 7 to 8 hours of sleep and get up and do it all again tomorrow morning. But this is the actual end of the video, so thank you for so much for watching. Like I said, tune back in next Monday if you enjoy, or if you want to keep up with kind of the prep, what's going on, how we're doing week by week. Otherwise, I will catch you next time. Have a great week, and peace, y'all.